Good afternoon, everybody. It's Lynn, the Leather Bag Lady. How are you all today? It's Wednesday today, and it's been a beautiful day so far. Starting to cloud over now. Leather Bag Lady weather report. I actually sat out on the deck for 20 minutes today. It's my thinking spot, and I got a lot to think about these days. So I went out to the shed, and I thought, it's beautiful out here, as it always is on my deck. I'm very lucky and I'm very unlucky at the same time. My deck from now until probably the end of June, mid-June, is a sun trap. And then from maybe mid-September, when it starts to cool down again, it's good. But the sun, the position of the sun very much dictates how much use I get out of my deck. And the summer months, it is so hot on my deck. I can't even stand it. It's quite secluded, which is beautiful in and of itself. But when the hot weather comes, the airflow is awful and it's not pleasant at all. But the real spring months, the March, April, May is the best 3 months for me. So I am going to do some fun stuff with my deck. I'll tell you all about that once I finish with today's bag. So, today's bag is a little different. It's a shoulder backpack / top handle bag by Italian brand Valentina. Excellent, excellent quality. I've sold over the years many of these bags. Always, a lot of the time they are a two-tone offering, which is very popular, at least it has been for me. And the backpack option is a shoulder, and then you can open it up to establish a backpack option. Now, these straps are adjustable. This is the longest. I mean, I can't imagine anybody wearing it this long. I've done a strap drop from here, and from here to here, it's 23 inches. So if you're going to include that as well, it's like crazy. So there's lots going on. Valentina, this is their zipper pull logo. And then inside you have the Valentina. It's usually genuine leather made in Italy. Yeah, there you go. So this bag has no pouches for phones, although I'm not 100% sure that it is as old as that would dictate. So I've just put it less than 2003 because I really don't know the age of this. I'm kind of inclined to say early 2000s, early 90s, mid 90s. But I'm not sure, so I thought I better just err on the side of caution. So this little pocket opens up, and that is just the front. Great for keys, phone, that kind of thing. You got another pocket here, another pocket here, a zippered pocket here, and a pocket on the back. So there's a lot of space in this little bag. Does have a couple of issues. What is it now? Oh, I know what it was. There's a little bit of fraying on the lining. The stitching is still intact. It's just frayed a little bit there. A little bit of darkening on the zipper fabric. But other than that, it's in great, great shape. You know, some scratching, a little bit on the metal handle, but you know what? It's a great little bag. Nice gussets. Oh, and there is actually, more importantly, you're not going to be able to see it. I've tried to take a picture in the listing, but there is some discoloration on the bottom, and it's that glue bleed through, which tends to happen on a lot of bags. So there you go. That is today's offering. Nice little backpack, strap / top handle slash shoulder, depending on whether or not you want to close this up, and then you could probably even get it as a sling. Yes, you could. There you go. So lots and lots and lots of options with this little guy. So that's today's bag. So as you know, I was asked yesterday to do to give some information on roots. So I went into I have a whole shelf of just roots, and it has occurred to me how much roots I have that I haven't even listed, but here we go. So the 3 bags I'm going to show you today haven't been listed, so that's just the way it is. A little bit of history on roots. I'm going to use roots as our history piece today. I thought, why not? Let's just not bombard you with too much information. So there is a great documentary on YouTube. I can't remember what it's called. I did a quick search and it didn't jump out at me, so I wanted to get my video done while it was still nice and bright outside. But it's worth watching. Roots was established in 1973. I'm just looking at my notes here because I don't want to get anything wrong. Were established in 1973 by Doug Green and Michael Budman. Now, if I remember correctly, they are Americans. I think they're Jewish Americans, and the only reason that's of any interest is they would go to camp every summer, which is a very Jewish thing to do. I understand. Again, this is just my research. If I'm wrong in any way, I apologize. This is just what I found out. They would go to Algonquin Park every year as young men, young boys, and they would have their summer camp at Algonquin Park. They befriended each other and decided, after spending some time away, school, that kind of thing, that they wanted to establish a business, and they wanted to get back to their Algonquin love affair, roots, whatever, which is why they called it Roots. And they wanted to create an outdoor brand, and it was initially a shoe. Now, please Google Roots shoes. 1973 is when the business started. They are the most ugly things. They tried to make a comeback. They actually have made a bit of a comeback, but they're so ugly. Oh my God, they're so ugly. Very 70s. Very, very 70s. Big, thick sole. Ugh, terrible. So the first store opened. Now, I've had conflicting information. The first store, as far as I was aware, was in the Rosedale subway station, August 1973. But I don't think that's right. It was up on above the Rosedale subway station in a street level store. Not 100% sure about that. They still operate their leather manufacturing arm of their operation in Toronto. However, in 2015, they sold the majority stake of Roots to Searchlight International, I think, or Searchlight Inc. Searchlight is very much like the companies I've spoke to you about before, who, you know, Columbia Sports owned Kettle Creek Canvas Company. Tapestry owns Coach. Sarah Lee owned Coach at one time. So Searchlight is just one of these conglomerates that now Green and Budman said it was to take their company to the next level. But they also said in a documentary that none of the family wanted to take it on. So who knows what the right answer is. They still are minority stakeholders in the business, but they don't own majority share anymore. And from my own personal dialogue with my own personal customers, the quality is not what it used to be. which is why I get so excited about vintage Roots bags. So what I've done, and just to quickly before I leave the history piece, Searchlight also owns a majority stake in M&M Meat Shops. So it just goes to show how diverse these companies, they don't care about what business they're in. It's just the business itself, which is Gary Vaynerchuk. If you follow Gary V, 2-3 years ago, prior to COVID, he was just waiting for a historic brand to kind of wane. He was talking about Snickers, Hubba Bubba, 7-Up, some of these brands that have just kind of crept along, and he was going to buy it, revamp it, sell it for billions, and buy the New York Jets. So whether or not he ever does that, who knows? So what I did was I went and looked at my stash of Roots bags, and I have come across 3 styles of label that, in my opinion, again, in my own personal opinion, give you some indication of the age. So the most noted label, and this is just a monogrammed bag of theirs, which, as I said, none of these bags are listed, but this is their 80s label. So it's a black background with the white Roots, made in Canada on it, and 9 times out of 10 the fabric inside the bag has Roots embossed in kind of a shiny finish, and this is 80s for sure. So that's this is a bag I picked up a few months ago off of Marketplace. I picked up 2, and it's actually my mom's initial, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. But anyway, there we go. So that's bag number 1. Bag number 2, again, this isn't listed, is this kind of round leather disc. Now, I'm going to suggest, and again, this is just my opinion, my research that I've done. I'm going to suggest that this is 90s. This is more 90s, and as you get into the 2000s and up, it becomes a metal plate, and that's what I've done. And this is just another Roots bag that has not, oh my goodness, I'm gonna sneeze. One's a wish, two's a kiss. We don't want 3 because that's a disappointment. I don't need any more disappointments this week. So yeah, and then you've got this little beaver hang tag. Sometimes it's separated, sometimes it's not. I'm not 100% sure how it's supposed to be. There's no sign of glue or anything like that. So it is, however you find it is however you find it. So this little bag also has that great Roots stamp on the bottom, whereas I'm not sure this one does. No, this one doesn't. So again, just a little forward movement in just how they're branding their bag. Now, the other bag I've showed you a few times, and that's this black satchel that I found that was in ridiculously poor condition. I've done some magic with it. It's still a little light here, but I'm not sure I'm all that mad at it. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to leave it as it is. There's an ink stain here that I thought I would try and be able to hide a little better, but you know what? Sometimes part of the allure of vintage is that it looks like it's been dragged through a hedge back ways. So there you go. And why I'm showing you this is because some of the bags, and you can see the real difference in tone because this is under the flap and hasn't had any exposure to sunlight and all that kind of thing. But again, I'm not mad at it. And then some of the bags just have the Roots stamp and nothing else. So that's the 3 ways that I like to age my Roots bags. Now, Cynthia, this is for you. If you come across anything that says Route 73, that is their less expensive brand. A lot of these brands have kind of like, it's almost like their outlet division. Because some of the Roots leather can get into the $300-400 for a decent bag. And they have also partnered up. Like you've got Sack Roots. There was another collab, I believe. I've come across maybe 1 or 2 pieces that are leather in the Route 73, but predominantly anything Route 73 is not leather. So for you having so little access or little exposure to the brand, if you come across anything online, first of all, I would be asking to see the tag. And for safety's sake, if it doesn't have that black and white tag or the round leather disc that is clearly leather, I wouldn't touch it. So that's just my kind of Bible in how I kind of work my Roots. Roots bags are very expensive here to buy, gently used, pre-loved. If I could make a business out of Roots and Roots alone, I absolutely would do that, but I just can't find them the way I used to. Albeit that I've just said I've got a whole 4-leveled shelving unit full of them, and most of them aren't even online. But anyway, that being said, I hope that helps you out with Roots. They did have some American stores, but I think over the last few years, especially with COVID, that has kind of slowed down. I talk about Joe Rogan all the time. He has a Roots fanny pack in his merch side of his business or whatever. He loves his Roots fanny pack. And Roots also did our Olympic team's outerwear for quite a few Olympics. They don't do it anymore, but they were doing it. Just iconic Canadian brand, and I just love the fact that you, Cynthia, as an American, are interested in learning more about it. So it's been a long video today. Sorry about that. But I get really excited about Roots, so I just wanted to give you as much information as I could. And again, check out that documentary on YouTube. It is worth watching. It's very interesting. So that being said, have a great day, everybody. I'm just doing my usual. I went to the Service Ontario this morning, got my sticker, got my new driver's license, got my new health card. And yeah, because 5 years ago, which is every 5 years we have to renew these things, I had black hair. So now when I give my QR code to get into restaurants and they want to see my ID, they kind of go, is that you? So I wanted to make sure I got a new picture, so I had to go in person. $330 later. Thank goodness I put that away at Christmas. Anyway, everybody, have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye!